Can you imagine Andy Billman?
He's got to be. I mean, I'm sure he cried just as long as I did.
He still might be crying.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised. The director of Believeland, who made us a promise, and that is if the Cavaliers won the championship, he would join us live following that title run. Andy, congratulations, and I'm very happy that with everything you've had to deal with over the last 20 hours or so, you're able to live up to your promise and start us off here on a Monday.
Well, see, I mean, that's what Clevelanders do. I mean, we may not win all the time, but we show up, and we hustle, and we dive, and what a night. I mean, what a night!
There you go.
That kind of win, and that kind of setting, and I'll tell you, I heard what you guys are saying, and point A, I mean, the LeBron haters, take a seat. Take care. I mean, go back to the back of the line. I mean, to watch that game, I was in downtown, I was actually filming, and I was with some people, and we're at a saloon, and for people who have not seen the footage, basically after the Indians game got out, and for people who don't know in Cleveland, Progressive Field is right next door to the queue. None of those people left after the Indians game. They sold out the queue in 20 minutes for the watch party, and then they sold over 50,000 tickets for people to stand in a grass lawn and watch the game.
Wow.
So you had all that. Every bar in Cleveland was packed. People were hanging on top of trees just to go look into a window at a bar to watch the game, hanging on lampposts. It was Camelot. And we all sat there, and that was such a meat grinder game. It was a very good game. And for that to come out the way it did, when Kyrie, we should back up. When LeBron got the block, when Kyrie hit the three, and then when Curry missed that, I yelled out. I forgot I was not supposed to do it much, but I became such a big fan, which I am. I yelled out as soon as Curry missed that three. I'm like, it's over! And then we all exploded. I was hugging people I didn't know. I met so many new best friends. I couldn't tell you who they are today. But, it was just a joyous celebration in downtown Cleveland.
Andy Billman with us as we get started here on Sports Talk. Now, you said you were filming. I'm assuming, is this a potential follow-up to Believeland chronicling this title run? Or was this maybe more of a 30 for 30 short, as you might look to put in the future, kind of putting this Game 7 into perspective from Cleveland's standpoint as fans?
We are going to readdress a little bit of the stuff in the film in Believeland. Will be coming out basically the same, with obviously maybe probably a new ending on June 30th at 8 p.m. on ESPN. So Believeland's coming back out with I call it a revamp with what happened at the end. And we're going to be here at the parade too, taping and talking to some people and taking it all in. When I talked to John on Friday night, he goes, "Don't you think you have to be there?" I'm like, heck yeah, I got to be there. And we just grabbed a bunch of people and we went, and it was an amazing experience. So on June 30th at 8 p.m. on ESPN, so 6 o'clock your time, you'll be able to take in what we saw. And again, it was just an amazing experience. And filming with some people who you'll be familiarized in the film. We'll be back in there too.
I have to ask, when they were down 3-1, did you really think they were going to come back, or did you think they were done? Honestly.
Okay, 90% done. Here's the only thing, and I'm truthfully 90% done. Here's the only thing I noticed from afar that I noticed in Game 4, which I don't say I like, but I could tell was sparked. When that Draymond Green incident happened with LeBron, you could tell it kind of awoke LeBron, and you could kind of tell it awoke kind of some anger and frustration. The other thing I also observed, which I said this on a few other radio stations, I found it fascinating that Steve Kerr decided to go take up Giants games the Saturday before Monday Game 5. And Klay Thompson was high-fiving Dodgers at the Giants game. They acted like a team who had already won. So, in sports wars, if you think you've won and the game's not over, it might slip through your hands. And you could tell it started slipping in Game 5 a little bit. Game 6, to me, was the big game. And they won that game. And then Game 7's a crapshoot. If you watch enough sports, Game 7 anything can happen. And that's what happened last night. So to your point, no. If you had a gun in my head, like, look, we're probably going to lose. But again, that little moment on the floor with LeBron and Draymond Green, it's the first time. It was one of those moments where, like, gosh, that really seemed to upset LeBron, and it kind of took over. Obviously, in my opinion, that was a big play in Game 4, which I think sparked 5, 6, and 7.
Now, you're interesting because you said 90% you thought it was over, maybe 10% you could give them some hope. I wonder about the city of Cleveland in general because they've been used to this, and this has happened so many times over the years. I wonder that after Game 4, they were kind of thinking, oh, God, here we go again. Maybe we'll just be lucky enough to get a Game 6 as opposed to thinking that this thing could possibly have Cleveland winning the last 3, 2 of those in Golden State to polish them off.
Well, right, and that's why Game 5 was such a good thing for the Cavs. Because you made a good point. They redeemed themselves. So even if you lose Game 6, it's like, well, at least we went out fighting. At least we went out with like a good fight. And it gets carried, to your point. I think most Cavs fans like myself are like 10-9. And again, that means we think we're going to lose. I mean, it doesn't mean you think we're going to win. I mean, I think this is going to end badly. But it didn't. And again, in sports, I've worked in ESPN 14 years. The one thing I always start observing is people being overconfident. And I thought that the Golden State Warriors were very overconfident after Game 4. And it just, and the complaining of calls and, Thompson calling out LeBron and Draymond Green. Well, if I would have played, we would have won. It's like, that's enough. It's enough. Time for Cleveland. And it was a great moment. It was a great moment if you're a Cleveland fan.
Absolutely right. Tweets coming in right now. Miss Lannister has directly tweeted Andy and wants to know if he has slept at all since last night.
Well, that's a very good question. I have. I slept between 4 and 7, and it was the best 3 hours of sleep I've ever had in my life. And then I woke up and sprung. I will say I have drinking 2 espressos. I'm trying to keep the energy alive. Will not lie. Probably will go to bed tonight by 9 or 10. And I'll probably sleep very well tonight. I couldn't sleep. I mean, I walked the streets very late last night just taking it all in. The only thing I guess I could say is we were in a bar that lost its air conditioning. So we were sweating so much. And literally people were piling on top of us as they knew why we were there. So it became like a sweat box. So I did sleep, yes. But I have not wiped a smile off my face. I mean, it's great. I'm not going to lie. It's awesome. Everything I thought it was going to be and more. And that was the thing I really was impressed by, all me included, was like, it was just such a euphoric yell. It reminds me of like Dead Poet Society when you yelp. It was like, it's just this like, after the whole thing ended. So it was incredible.
Andy, here's the hardest part for you, I'm sure, is that you're filming. So obviously you've got to be sharp because essentially you're adding another ending to Believe Land in 10 days, which means after the shooting comes the editing and all that stuff done.
Yep.
So the hardest part for you had to be not getting a chance to knock down some alcoholic beverages in celebration with everybody else, knowing that the 52-year drought is over.
Correct. I just have learned more and more, if you're working in the field, the people are very nice in life. And I went to Ole Miss one time in Oxford, Mississippi, and boy, do they love giving you red Solo cups full of stuff. You're taping them. I mean, LSU, they were giving me Miller Lights all the time. I was like, well, thank you, but I got to say no. It was hard. I will say this. I'm actually, I'll be the first one to say, there's nothing like a good cold beer at a bar. But last night, I'm actually happy I didn't, because even I just want to take everything in. I didn't want to miss anything. And just watching that game with a bunch of people and crew and stuff, and I'll tell you the truth, at least where I was standing, sure, people were still drinking, but it wasn't heavy. Like, no shots. You didn't see people like shotgunning beers or like, hey, I'm gonna triple this. Like, nothing like that. Like, it's pretty contained. Like, that was the thing that impressed me last night. Well, I guess where I was. It wasn't heavy pounding of beers and stuff. Most people towards the second half, if anything, they were just kind of slowly, drinking at that point. It was really kind of tapering off because everybody wanted to take in what was going on.
Andy Billman, director of Believe Land, again, June 30th. It's going to be 10 days from now. It's going to be re-airing at 6 o'clock in El Paso. A new end. Now, any idea yet? Do you want to try to devote about a good 10 minutes to this piece? Or have you even thought about, when you change it up and you add to it, what you're going to do?
I have. I mean, we talked about it extensively on Friday, and then I kind of came up with some things. And now, look, you have to remember, I'm going into this saying, well, there's 2 endings. The one that we got, or God forbid, the opposite. And I'll tell you, down 7 points at halftime, I was starting to do yoga stretches. Like, I do not want to put this together. It just goes the way that it's going. And thankfully it didn't. So yeah, we thought about it. We marked some things off. Truthfully, when you sit in the edit room, kind of like anything else in life, you have to let it organically grow, and you have to really start putting these things together. And if things need a little bit more time, I'll try to nickel and dime some things maybe away here and there to get some more time back in the film. But we're going to give this ending needs to get proper time and proper digestion. There's a lot happened last night in the city of Cleveland. As you saw, Dave, from ESPN, all that stuff's real. Very, very raw, emotional happiness celebration right now in Cleveland.
I'm happy there were no riots, no craziness, nothing, no looting. It's just Cleveland fans celebrated, like you said, the way you would expect them to celebrate, enjoying it, but not going overboard. Exactly.
And we were talking about that last night as we were walking around the streets. The one thing that happened to me late, the cameraman goes, because I'm having 5 or 6 shots ahead of time what I want. He looked at me and goes, Andy, what do you want now? I go, I'm kind of going numb, Josh. I don't know. Like, I got to take this in right now. I'm overwhelmed. I became very overwhelmed with the emotion and the experience. I was just so happy. And really, again, last night, the fans were rowdy, but it was the happiest rowdy. I mean, again, people were just coming up and hugging us and saying congratulations. And this nice older gentleman came up and talked to me and told me how much it means for us to be here. That kind of stuff just takes your breath. Again, I'm not surprised by it at all either. It was a fantastic experience and very peaceful. A lot of people, and by the way, there was a lot of people in downtown Cleveland last night. There was a moment last night where we shot something where I said, I've been in Times Square for New Year's Eve, and the New Year's Eve ball dropped on Cleveland, Ohio on June 19th. It dropped. The ball dropped of champion.
That's awesome. As far as LeBron goes, we've pretty much, we'll talk a lot about this as we get into the show today. Right. But really, this was, you could almost say the ultimate. Really, it doesn't matter to me if LeBron never wins another title. It doesn't matter if he wins another 3 more titles. What LeBron did with this team, taking him back from 3 games to 1 and come back and winning this series is really the ultimate ending to his legacy. And the exciting thing is we don't know where he's going to be next year. He should stay in Cleveland. He could be in L.A. He could go back to Miami. Realistically, Andy, after last night, he doesn't owe Cleveland anything anymore because he did what he said he was going to do. He delivered the championship back to the city of Cleveland.
Absolutely correct. And I said that to you guys 2 weeks ago and it still stands. Look, they're going to name Lake Erie Lake LeBron here soon, I'm sure. I'm waiting for my PR release to come out, I'm waiting for the statues to be built. He's done good, and I'll tell you, here's where and it was close going into the finals, but there's no question now. There's a debate here in Cleveland: is it Jim Brown or LeBron James the all-time? How much I love Jim and how much he did so much good for Cleveland Browns and being a fantastic athlete. LeBron James is now the new number 1 all-time athlete in Cleveland. There's no question about it. No question.
I think what's safe to say is that when Jim Brown was playing in the late 50s all the way through the mid-60s, he was the face of the league. He was the face of Cleveland sports. And now you could almost fast forward 50 years later and say that just like Brown was the face then, now LeBron has kind of taken over that mantle. So I don't even know if you have to go with the greatest in the history of the sport. I think they kind of both deserve a special place given what they meant to their respective sports during these eras.
No, I agree. There will always be debate. And again, Jim Brown is considered by many people to be one of the, not just football, greatest athletes of all time. I would make the same argument with LeBron. Again, he got recruited to play at Ohio State for a reason. Ohio State doesn't just give varsity letters or calls or scholarships on a whim. They're giving it as they want him to play football and score touchdowns. So, he is a fantastic athlete. There's no doubt there'll be debate about it. I'll just be honest, what I saw last night, I can only go by my eyes, and I've only seen Jim Brown through video highlights and reels and replays. I think LeBron has overtaken him. I just think what he did last night was such an undertaking. And again, for that game to be such a meat grinder, and for it never to have happened, and to happen to the 73-win Warriors, it just meant so much more that people who are probably non-Clevelanders will probably remember this game from years to come, because it has a national perspective and history hook to it.
Before we let you go, Andy, try to explain to our listeners what the parade's going to be like. Because, we've talked about the celebration downtown and everything leading up to last night's win. But is it even hard for you right now to comprehend what will happen and take place when the official championship parade goes down in Cleveland?
I'll give you two thoughts. Number one will be, mass hysteria. You'll probably see people coming out tomorrow morning and spotting their place on the parade route because they want a good spot. There'll be a lot of people sleeping on Euclid Avenue tomorrow. There'll be a lot of people, putting up their tents, getting ready for a big night's sleep so they get a good spot. Truthfully, there's going to be a lot of sleeping bags starting early tomorrow morning, trying to get spots together because people want to see this, experience it. And the thing is, some of us were in Oakland. When it comes to media members, there's some people who I know traveled out there who are fans. Everybody comes home on Wednesday. So it's like almost like Thanksgiving. Like my dad, and here's the second point. My dad called me, and he goes, I have to come. So I'm going to have my dad with me on Wednesday. I think my brother's going to fly in from Denver. He's a big Clevelander and Cleveland fan. Everybody's coming in for this. It's everything. The parade is it means so much. You'll probably see people crying at the parade, actually. That's how much it means. It just means everything. And like I said, Cleveland has a huge sports tie. We've lived through these guys, and it means a lot to us. So with that in mind, that's how much it meant last night when the Cavs won. And the way they won and how they did it, it's a euphoric yelp of excitement and energy last night in Cleveland.
Unbelievable. By the way, I just saw the line outside the team store at the Q. It's ridiculous right now.
I was in it 3 hours ago. It was funny. I had some people come up to me and goes, "You're the Believe Director. Can't you get a spot of time?" I'm like, no, we're all fans here today. We're all fans. So I waited in that line, and I got my 3 T-shirts. I got one for my dad, and one for my boy, and one for me.
Good.
We got to wear them. You got to wear them.
Do you know where you're going to be at the parade filming? Any idea yet where your spot's going to be?
No, actually, I was talking to the Cavs about it earlier. I'm going to be somewhere for sure. To be honest, I've done 2 or 3 parades in my time. You want to talk about craziness. And it's already coming that way. It's controlled but not controlled. You can't really designate spots, so it's hard. But we're going to find a good location for sure. And I want to grab obviously some certain Cavaliers to help talk about what happened. But don't know about designated spots. I've done parades a lot. I love parade. This parade will be the ultimate. With that said, it's probably going to be a little. I might have to sleep on Euclid Avenue tomorrow.
I was going to say.
Make sure my shooter and stuff gets a good spot.
Unbelievable. Hey, can't wait not only for the parade Wednesday, but for the 30th when we get to see Believe Land again with the new alternate ending that we've been waiting for and you've been waiting for a long time. Congratulations, Andy. Enjoy it, and thanks for giving us so much time here to give us your thoughts and perspective on the title.
You guys have been great to me, and again, everybody in the city of El Paso, even though this thing's over, jump on board. The tribe's in first. Come on. We got more teams. We got more bandwagon space, but thank you. You guys have been so nice to me. And again, this whole thing's been a great experience. I really enjoyed talking to you guys in the last 3 weeks.
You as well. Take care, Andy, and enjoy it again.
Take care. Go Cleveland.
There he is.
There he is. Well deserved.
Cleveland Rocks with Andy Billman as we get started here on the show.